Miami-Dade County, under the leadership of Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, is moving swiftly to expand COVID-19 vaccine distribution to protect our community and move our economy forward. Vaccine supplies are currently extremely limited, and as the state provides more vaccines to the county, we are working hard to distribute them as fast as possible. Register for vaccine updates and get more information at miamidade.gov/vaccine. Get vaccinated, Miami-Dade County. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community. Miami-Dade County, under the leadership of Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, is moving swiftly to expand COVID-19 vaccine distribution to protect our community and move our economy forward. Vaccine supplies are currently extremely limited, and as the state provides more vaccines to the county, we are working hard to distribute them as fast as possible. Register for vaccine updates and get more information at miamidade.gov/vaccine. Get vaccinated, Miami-Dade County. It's our best shot for a strong
welcome to WDNA 88.9 FM Sirius Jazz. Really excited to be starting this program here this fine Thursday morning. And it's either a new face if you're listening and watching on YouTube and the live stream, or it might be a new voice if you're listening on 88.9 or on WDNA.org. I'm Philip Capuzzi. I've been hosting the Latin Jazz Quarter for a couple of years now here at the station. And I recently stepped in for Marcello Corelli, who himself had stepped in for the ubiquitous Chuck Bergeron, who had hosted the show for many years, was a mentor of mine, and also of Dion's, who's here with us here this morning. So a really exciting set. We have the Manny Echazabal group with us on this fine Thursday morning. It's, of course, Manny himself on tenor, Dion Kerr on bass, Dave Chiverton on drums, and Tal Cohen on piano. So we're going to talk a little bit later in the program, but I think I'd prefer, and the listeners as well would probably prefer to just get right into the music. So without further ado, starting off the set, Time Out. Welcome back, live and direct, WDNA 88.9 FM, Sirius Jazz here on the Frost Jazz Hour this fine Thursday morning as we get back to live programs. Last week we had expected to have Carlos Puig come in and play. Unfortunately, he was unable to make it, so we re-aired an incredible performance of him from back in 2018. And the week before that, the incredible Chuck Bergeron alongside John Hart played some duo with a surprise visit from the University of Miami football team, actually, which was a very interesting kind of different, a mix of different cultures there. So Manny Echazabal on tenor here this morning, Tal Cohen on piano, Dion Kerr on bass, and David Chiverton on drums. Incredible job, guys. Really a pleasure to be able to share space and listen to your guys' music. So Manny, I was curious, I assume you guys met during your time at Frost, but how exactly did this group form? And then what was the experience from your first rehearsal to the recording session for your guys' record back in 2017, short notice?
Sure. So I got a chance to actually meet Tal and Dion maybe toward the end of my undergrad, I think about my junior year, which was about back in 2013. And I don't believe that we were in ensembles together, but we spent a lot of time just jamming together and just getting to know each other and starting to do a little bit of gigs and, different configurations around town. And then through playing with them and just trying to get out in the scene, I got to meet Dave Chiverton doing, actually the very first time I think I met you in person, it was at a friend of ours, Vaughn. His last name's Henry, right? Yeah, Vaughn Henry, an incredible piano player from South Florida as well. I got a chance to play at his CD release party, and that's where I got to meet you. And then that's when I think that all the pieces were finally together to to know these are the people I want for my album. And after playing that and playing a bunch of gigs with Dion and Tal, I got everything together and set up a couple rehearsals. I set up, I think, 3 or 4 rehearsals, and then I set up 5 gigs in preparation for the record. We rehearsed some music. We went through the tunes that are on the album, and we kind of tweaked things along the way. It's this could be kind of cool here. We can maybe move this around, and just kind of just working the tunes as we were preparing for the record. And it was a spectacular experience. I learned so much doing my first record, and I learned so much musically. Playing with these guys, just a lot of progress over the years, just from starting way back then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm super intrigued by your decision to include all original compositions in that record as well. So I'm curious, what's your writing process? And then you kind of mentioned a moment ago how certain things shifted when you work with this group. Does that happen with a lot of the groups that you play, or does it kind of depend if you're with people that you feel allow things to develop?
I like having my compositions kind of left to interpretation. I like to have a shell or an idea of something. A lot of the time I will listen to some sort of thing that kind of catches my ear, a little small idea or something like that, and then I'll sort of make a composition out of that. I'll just make smaller and bigger ideas out of the original idea, and then write harmony around it, and then I'll come up with a first draft kind of thing. And then after that, I'll bring it into this band, and we'll have it play through, and then I'll record that rehearsal, and then when I come back later at home, I'll listen back to the recording, and it becomes much clearer to me what needs to go, what needs to be added, and stuff like that. But it all comes a lot of the time of my compositions. I listen to all types of different recordings. I get little ideas from somebody's solo, or maybe a comping thing in a composition, or just something like that. I'll just kind of grab a little idea out of that, and then make a tune out of that, and then rehearse it with the band and kind of take it from there. And
Wow.
and I think over the years, I'm not opposed to things kind of changing over time, the composition kind of moving around, just it grows I grow as a musician, as we grow as musicians.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks so much. All right, so yeah, Manny Echazabal group here alongside Tal Cohen on piano, Dion Kerr on bass, and Dave Chiverton on drums. We're going to step aside briefly for some messages from the station, and then we're going to come back with the wonderful Billy Eckstine ballad, I Want to Talk to You. 88.9 FM, we'll be back shortly. And welcome back live and direct from Coral Way, WDNA 88.9 FM, the Frost Jazz Hour with the Manny Echazabal Group. And we're going to jump right back into the music with Billy Eckstine's I Want to Talk About You. I want to talk about you from the Manny Echazabal Group here live and direct on WDNA 88.9 FM. That's Manny on tenor just a moment ago. He's also playing alto here this morning alongside Tal Cohen on piano, Dion Kerr on upright bass, and Dave Chiverton on drums. And now we're going to move forward with the title track from their debut record released in September of 2017, Short Notice. Manny Echazabal Group here live and direct on WDNA 88.9 FM. That tune, Short Notice, the title track off their debut record back from September 2017, available on iTunes and Amazon. If you guys want to support Manny and these wonderful musicians, Tal Cohen on piano, Dion Kerr on acoustic bass, and Dave Chiverton on drums. And also, while I'm on the topic of support, if you have it within your means to support the station and maintain beautiful programs like this that we're putting on for you, the listener, you can visit WDNA.org and donate securely. It's also tax deductible, and you can become a sustaining member and gain access to some more wonderful events here in the gallery. So now as we move forward with the show, I understand you guys are going to play East of the Sun, the wonderful standard. Take it away. You're listening to the Manny Echazabal Group here live and direct on WDNA 88.9 FM. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in, whether you be listening on 88.9 or on WDNA.org anywhere across the world. And whether you just tuned in or you've been with us from the beginning, always so grateful for the support. Listeners are as much of the program as the performers and the hosts. So one more time, Manny Echazabal on tenor. Tal Cohen on piano, Dion Kerr on upright bass, and Dave Chiverton on drums. Just a moment ago, you heard the beautiful tune East of the Sun. And before we get into the last tune, man, I just wanted to ask one more question. I know you, Dion, and Dave all grew up here in South Florida, so I'm just curious, what was your kind of experience growing up? I believe you went to school in Hialeah and then, of course, went over to Frost for your undergrad, so you've been here for most of your life. And I'm just curious, has the scene shifted at all over the course of the time that you've lived here, or even just kind of some general thoughts that you have on the South Florida scene versus maybe New York City or over on the West Coast?
I think that South Florida's always had a lot of amazing musicians. Speaking of just our generation, I think that there's always been a very creative scene here. I think there's been a lot of venues that have always been present the entire time, but things in Miami sort of closed and then other things open again, but the scene is always still very vibrant. All types of music, you can listen to all types of very good music here. There's amazing jazz players, there's amazing blues players, jam band people, there's good commercial music people as well. People go on tour with different pop artists and stuff. The scene is always very vibrant with very great players. I think what happens is the quality of music stays consistent, but the venues around the South Florida area always sort of change. And then maybe that has something to do with Miami being a major city, but also a developing city at the same time. So it's always developing into something, but it's not certainly settled into things yet. But I think the one thing that is consistent about South Florida and the Miami music scene is that there's always a vibrant scene. There's always a huge amount of very creative and talented people in this area.
Yeah, and kind of on the note of varied creative output. You three, Tal, Dion, and Dave, you guys are also, your hands are in so many different camps. Dion and Dave, you guys play in the Smoogies. You guys just dropped a record last year. I know you guys are working on another project. Tal, you released a record back in 2017, Gentle Giants. So it's just so wonderful to see, all these different musicians kind of with their hands in so many different camps. But Manny, I wanted to ask you, before we get into the last tune, to take us to the top of the hour. I know you're planning to play up in West Palm with Michelle and Tomachi of the Bossa Fusion duo later this evening. But yeah, where can the people find you? And then I also know you're writing some new tunes and planning on a new record release sometime this year.
Yeah, I would like to have the music together. I'm just trying to figure out some sort of logistics to maybe try to do another one later on this year or possibly the beginning of next year. Different projects. I do play with Carlos Tomachi and Michelle. I play with them at this art gallery in West Palm Beach called Nomad. I also am playing with my band again at this thing called the Seal Sessions that's run by this guy named Claudence Louis. You guys can look that up. I'll be playing in July 20th with my band. And you just little projects like that, I do around South Florida. It's very sporadic, but if you just check online, you always find what I'm doing and what these guys are doing and stuff.
Awesome, thanks so much. All right, yeah, so you guys have one more tune, I think Gonzo Blues, you said, to take us to the top of the hour. Thanks so much for joining us, the listeners, and as well Manny, Tal, Dion, and Dave for sharing your music and some of your story with us here this morning on the Frost Jazz Hour. So without further ado, let's take it to the top.
Cool.